I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Peace and safety to the hopefully elect, all the sincere Akim, scattered throughout the four corners, pushing his word in sincerity and in truth. For those who don't know, Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. In this another edition, I drop the mic, and in this edition, I'm going to drop the mic on these sorcerers, these wicked men of Israel, these warlocks. I'm referring to ITR, all right? You have Good Samaritans. These guys basically set up to come up against the truth, all right? In the previous video, the guy I knocked, basically using private interpretations, of course, say that the brimstone is not referring to the volcanoes and the Lord's judgment. Basically say that brimstone, the word brimstone, is referring to Yahweh himself, which that's a private interpretation of the scriptures, all right? And what I did is a word research, a word search on the word brimstone, and it's basically used 14 times in the scriptures. And I'm going to bring it out and show you and give you the edification, the correct edification, without any private interpretations, and show you what this brimstone is referring to. So the first scripture is Genesis 19 and 24. And it says, then the Yahweh, all right, the Lord, the Heavenly Father, reigned upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah, brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. Now I want to look up this word brimstone, and as you can see on your screen, it says of judgment, all right? Because that's what the brimstone from the beginning, all right? Like we just read in the book of Genesis, during the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, the Lord judged those cities, those 5 cities, with fire and brimstone, all right? Meaning the volcanoes, all right? As you can see here, it says Yahweh's breath. Here in the Strong's definition, it says resin, by analogy, sulfur. And when you do your research, sulfur, volcanoes produce sulfur, all right? So the next precept is Deuteronomy 29:23, and it reads, and that the whole land thereof is brimstone, all right, referring to judgment and salt and burning, that it is not shown, no beareth, nor any grass groweth therein, all right, because once that brimstone, those volcanoes set off, it's going to bring total destruction, all right? It says that it is not sown, nor beareth, nor any grass groweth therein, like the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and Amar and Zidon, which the Lord overthrew in his anger and in his wrath, referring to the volcanoes, all right? So let's read the next precept in the book of Job, chapter 18, verse 15. It shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. All right? So the Lord, this is the Lord's judgment. All right? Just like in the time of Noah, he used the elements, he used the water. All right? During the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, he used the fire and the brimstone, which is the volcanoes, man. Going back to Leviathan, okay? That lava, all right? That brimstone. Okay, so this is Psalms 11 and 6. It says, upon the wicked All right. So going back to the book of Genesis, the wicked uh, would be the Sodom and Gomorrah, those Hamites. All right. So the Lord said, upon the wicked he shall reign. All right. He shall judge. Okay. By raining what? Snares, fire, and brimstone. Okay. The Lord always uses elements, man. All right. And a horrible tempest. And we know a tempest is referring to basically a tornado. All right. That's another element that the Lord used for judgment, man. All right. Let's see. It says a whirlwind. All right. A tempest. Basically a tornado. A hurricane. All right. This is part of the Lord's judgment, man. All right. And the fire and the brimstone. All right. Which the volcanoes produce sulfur. All right. And that's not referring to Yahweh himself, like these guys at ITR and Good Samaritans teaching, man. All right. Like I said, these guys are basically set up to come up against the truth, man. All right. So this is Psalms 11 and 6, and it reads, upon the wicked he shall reign. The Lord Yahweh shall reign. All right. This is his judgment, snares, fire, and brimstone, and a horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup. All right. The wicked. All right. And this is what the Lord is going to use. Not nuclear weapons, missiles. All right. Which that's a hope. That's a hoax. All right. So let's get the next precept. Isaiah 30 and 33. For Tophet is ordained of old. Let's look up this word here. And as you can see, a place of fire. All right. A place of cremation. So it says, is ordained of old. Yeah, for the king it is prepared. That fire and that brimstone, man. He have made it deep and large. The pile thereof is fire and much wood. The breath of the Lord. Okay, we read, when you look up brimstone, it says the breath of the Lord. Judgment. So it says the breath of the Lord like a stream of brimstone. All right, and that's your Leviathan. In Job 41, that's what it's referring to when it refers to Leviathan. All right, that lava. All right, so it says the breath of the Lord like a stream of brimstone doeth kindle it. Okay, referring to the fire and the brimstone, the volcanoes. All right, the breath of the Lord, which is judgment. All right. So the next precept, Isaiah chapter 34 and 9. And it says, as the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. Okay? So the next precept, Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 22. And it reads, and I will plead against him with pestilence, and the him is referring to the wicked. All right. Psalms 11 and 6. He shall rain upon the wicked a snare, fire, and brimstone. So it says, and I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his bands, and upon the many people that are with him, an overflowing rain, a great hailstones, fire and brimstone. And the volcanoes is what produces hailstones. Okay? So, next precept. Book of Luke, chapter 17, verse 29. And it reads, but the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. So this is the Lord's judgment. This is what the Lord used in the time, going back to the time of Sodom and Gomorrah. to bring destruction, man. All right, to take down one and bring up another. All right, you even have um, uh, modern history such as Pompeii. All right, the Lord rained fire and brimstone upon Pompeii and destroyed them all. Okay, so now this is the next precept in the book of Revelations, chapter 9 and verse 17, and it reads, "And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them," referring to the angels, the host, the Lord's host, having breastplates of fire and jacinth and brimstone, and heads of horses were as the heads of lion, and out of their mouth issued fire and smoke and brimstone. Okay, so this is part of the Lord's judgment, man. All right, going all the way back to the beginning, to the book of Genesis. All right, next precept, Revelation 9 and 18. By these three was the third part of man killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. All right, because we know the angels control the elements. All right, so this is what it's referring to, man. All right, so let's get the next precept in Revelation chapter 14 and 10. And this is a recurring theme, man, going from the beginning to the end. All right, going all the way back to Sodom and Gomorrah, man. All right, this is what the Lord used, man, to bring destruction, to bring judgment. This is Revelation 14 and 10, and it reads, "And the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the power." So this is the wrath of the power, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, just like we read in the previous verse. Okay, we know the angels control the elements. Okay, this is the Lord's army, man. All right, so it says fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So next precept, Revelation chapter 19 and 20. "And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that worked miracles before him, which with he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. These both were cast alive into a lake," all right, "into a lake of fire, burning with brimstone." All right, so last precept, last two precepts. This is Revelation 20 and 10. "And the devil that deceived them was cast into a lake." All right, and this lake is not referring to nuclear missiles. All right, such as the One West doctrine. All right, you got the alphabet camps, the One West camps. They teach that this is referring to nuclear destruction. But we see, according to the precepts and according to what's written, this brimstone is referring to sulfur. All right, which volcanoes produce sulfur. All right, that's your Leviathan in the book of Job, chapter 41. Also, the prophet Isaiah, chapter 27 and verse 1. All right, that's what Leviathan is referring to. All right, that's that lava, that fire, that brimstone. Okay, so it says, "And the devil that deceived them were cast into the lake." All right, cast into that multitude of people that's reserved for judgment. All right, into a lake of fire, and that's just referring to the people that's going to be judged. "And brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever." Last precept, Revelation 21 and 8. "But the fearful and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers. And basically that's what those guys are using, sorcery, man. Alright, mainly this guy Nazariah, alright, from ITR. He's basically using sorceries and witchcraft basically to manipulate the mind of the simple. Alright? So it says, but the fearful and unbelieving and abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars. And basically that's what these guys are, man, liars. Alright? Like I said in the beginning, these guys are set up to come up against the truth, man. Okay? Sorcerers, man, and liars shall have their part in the lake. So you're going to be a part of that multitude. Alright? You're going to be part of that multitude, man. Alright? So they're going to have their part, their spot in the lake, which burneth with fire and brimstone. Alright? Referring to the volcanoes going all the way back to Sodom and Gomorrah, to the beginning. Alright? The book of Genesis. Alright? They're going to have their part in the lake. Alright? That multitude that's ordained to be judged. Alright? Which burneth with fire and brimstone. And we know brimstone is referring to what? Sulfur. Okay? Which is what? The judgment of Yahweh, man. Okay? So it says, which is the second death. And you know, according to Revelation chapter 20, the elect, the second death have no power over the elect. Alright? So you guys, by adding and taking away from the scriptures, these players going to be added to you guys, man. To all sorcerers, man. Alright? And with that, I'm going to say shalom.